Computer, share the screen. Screen share. क्या हो रहा है
ये
मालूम
किसी
नहीं।
के बैकग्राउंड में ना हॉर्न का आवाज बज रहा है. हॉकिंग है ना.
King.
Mentioned about the traffic, right? So maybe somebody.
Okay, zoom. Okay, Poonam, give me thumbs up if you see my screen. Super duper. All right, guys, happy Independence Day. So saluting all the freedom fighters who fought for this country. I think the freedom struggle is one of my favorite story of resilience in most of my workshop. If it's a talk of accountability, resilience, I always say so. I'm going to take 2 minutes of air time. So, and feel free to share that story in your workshops. So, the first revolt happened in 1857. We got independence 1947, 90 years. There were a few passionate, fanatic people, who were fighting for the independent country, and they tried all the variety of things. So this story, you can derive a variety of learnings, right? Creativity, possibility thinking, accountability, resilience, having a vision, persistence, whatnot, right? So wish you all a very happy Independence Day and welcome to the session of ISEC Pune. So it's monthly meeting. I don't know, it's more than a gathering. I'm going to remove that word monthly meeting from next session onwards. So August 2020, hearty welcome. Welcome new member and guests. So if you are attending this meeting first time, I don't see any new faces. Kalpesh, do you see anybody new? Since I can't see the screen. Koi hai kya pehle baar other than our guests?
I think I'm seeing Shalini for the first time face to face. So
let's do the dragging thing on Shalini. Shalini, please introduce yourself to all of us.
Definitely.
And once we meet face to face, you have to pay for the chai and pakoda. That's the ritual we have. So Kalpesh will make a note of that.
Pay for a chai and pakoda. Whose chai and pakoda?
My own.
Yeah.
My own chai and pakoda.
So yeah, Shalini, over to you. Please tell us fantastic things about yourself.
Thank you so much. I don't
Let
think
me
so.
stop the share.
While you all are doing a face off for me today,
Yeah.
I happened to meet and see most of your faces when I attended one of the sessions physically.
Oh, wow.
So I think I have done that. So it was just one session for sure. And then I think then I moved to Brussels. So I am right now at Brussels. So
Wow.
I have been part of few of the sessions since it's gone on Zoom quite a bit. So I am regular there for sure. So that's great learning opportunities which I get with all of you all. Last session was super awesome, which I attended with Prasad. So I loved that and could contribute in the learnings there. So I had been an internal coach for quite some time while I was in India, and then I moved to Brussels for the last 1 year. I have not been actively working, but then yes, I have some of my clients where I am into active coaching, and definitely this phase has been more of learning time. And I think I didn't miss much more because I think COVID made us everybody, to be inside the house and, start on this learning spree. So, but trying to gain up a lot of new skills, learn from each other. I think that's what the journey for me right now looks like. And yes, I'm there with all of you all to see what new skills I can pick up from and new learnings I can take from all of you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So Jayashri, we are truly international coaching federation now, right? So we got like Sandeep. See, by the way, Sandeep is not a new member; he's a guest of honor today. So Sandeep, we got international people attending your session today. Right?
Excellent.
Thank you so
I'm
much.
honored. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome.
We are honored,
Yeah,
Sandeep, to
super.
have you.
Before I share the screen, my next slide was about credentialing. Is there anybody who got new ACC?
Vivek,
Yeah.
Vivek, I think I'm not sure if Shripad has introduced himself with the group.
Okay.
Shripad,
do you want to come on camera, please?
I'm not sure if he has his camera on, but Shripad, if you can.
Hello. Yeah, I have a challenge with the camera, so I am just on audio. Yeah, I am Sripad, working with Zensar Technologies as a delivery head, delivery manager. and taking baby steps in coaching world. I just completed 60 hours of training, and now I'm just in a learning mode right now.
Wow, welcome.
And as far as ICA Pune is concerned, I am a baby member, just started.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome aboard, Shripad.
We'll add Shripa to the pakoda list. Poonam, please take ownership of making a pakoda list, right?
Sure.
Shripa, we got a slide. I'm going to share this slide to you. I think I'm going to make it aspirational for people. Okay, so Shripa, today you use this slide to introduce yourself. The invitation we have is we flash this slide, and people who get credentialing pin, you get to introduce yourself here, and we're going to clap for you, right? So anybody who got their credentials, ACC, PCC, MCC, this last month, we want to clap for you. Joshi, do you know did anybody tell you? Anybody? Okay, no? Okay, fair enough. We want to sing a happy birthday song for people who have the birthdays in this month and birthday bumps. Anybody? Please unmute yourself and tell us your birthday was in this month.
The August babies.
Yeah. What August baby?
Mine is today, so.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I know, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So that's a special thank you to Sandeep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
He accepted our
Happy
invitation.
birthday.
Super,
you.
super. Thank
Happy
you. It's a very
birthday,
special day
Sandeep.
for us.
Thank you so much.
So,
Happy birthday, Sandeep.
Poonam,
Birthday.
Poonam, for pakoda party, Sandeep should be a guest. It was his birthday, so we should call him as a guest there.
You guys are making me hungry actually. It's all virtual pakodas in a virtual meeting now.
Yeah. Super, super. Thank you so much. Welcome, Sandeep, again. I'm going to introduce Sandeep in a minute. So, theme for the August, friends, we're going to, it just popped up in my mind, what should we do? And I'm saying, while, we've been talking about expanding business and on how do coaches we do, I think end of the day, we also are a human being and the life is happening for us as well, right? We are working from home, working for home. If you think of corporates, some people have lost job. For some people, they have cut their salaries. And I'm sure, I know I've gone through that. I have lost some of my business in March, April, and I'm sure some of us are finding it difficult to get business and connecting with customers. A lot of companies have cut their budget in L&D. So what I thought is really, and again, 15th August, like freedom time. So can we just take a minute to take a pause and saying, let's have freedom from this worry and anxiety. And can we listen to stories of each other and one more step on building resilience and aim for success? That's just the topic came to my mind. And we're going to combine two things in here, right? One is beginning of year, we had taken feedback from our members saying, what is that you would like to have? And one input we had got, Jayashri remembers the name. Jayashri, who said the first line? We need to have intimate conversations. You're on mute. You're on mute, Jayashri.
Vinita Saxena.
Okay, Vinita. So thank you, Vinita, for this idea. So what we want to have around first 30 minutes is conversations that matter. So a couple of inputs we got. We are meeting virtually. We don't get time to know each other. There are a lot of awesome stories that people have. There's one beautiful line I read. If you listen to people's stories, the only thing you can do is love them, right? So that's the one thing we're going to do today. Second, the theme is real people and real stories. That's why we have invited Sandeep. And the theme he's going to talk on from cop to corporate and fact to fit. I will talk about that theme as we come there, right? So let's jump into the first one. This is what we're going to do. So we're going to do conversations that matter. I see we have around 13 people. So we're going to divide you into, say, all of us into 3 groups for around 30 minutes. The theme is really knowing each other at a deeper level, right? While we know as a colleague, but feel free to talk about that part of persona you're proud about, which people may not know. That's the first one. Also, we would like to discuss how will last 5 months for you, starting from might be March or Feb, good things, bad things, not so good things, neutral things. And, I had a difficulty writing the fourth one. How did you face them? I was looking for alternative words. What could be other words than face them? It could be, what did you do? What are the strategy you follow? For some of us, it could be neutral. Like we were talking about, she set up a whole work from home office and her chair in the gallery and things like that. And I think the 30 minutes is just listening to each other, right? Your own stories, last 4-5 months. What did you do in the last 4-5 months? What are the new things you learned about yourself, about your family members, about life? Did your priorities change? Like I was just cleaning my things and I just found a sheet I wrote in February, and first line says, life is a blog, enjoy every moment, create joy out of every moment, not misery. I think that's a message from Sandeep. And it just kind of like, Dad, I knew this, why am I running behind lot many other things? And finally, once 30 minutes are over, come back, and if there's any one or two sparkling moment you would want to share with the larger group, please do so. We got a small group today, so I'm looking forward to a lot of intense conversation. So I'm going to pause here and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And let me know if you have any questions about the conversations we're going to have. Otherwise, I'm going to create breakout rooms.
So Vivek, just one reference point for all of you is I've taken the screenshot of the screen that you had just shown and put that on the WhatsApp group for reference, so people know the points that need to be done.
Awesome, man. Jayashri, you know why Pune team rocked in ICW, right? So many technical people here. Thanks. Sorry, Kalpesh, go ahead.
Yeah, and the second thing I wanted to request that when you do the breakout rooms, we'll miss out on having you as part of one of the rooms. So please join in any one of the rooms. We'll love to have you as a part of the discussion.
Now, one help I need, Kalpesh, if I join the room and people join, who would do that admit thing?
So you can still get the references. So once you do the breakout rooms, you will be able to go and join any of the rooms that you like. So if you like my face, come to my room. If you like Sheila's face, go to her room. Whichever room you post that, you still be the admin. So if somebody wants any help or somebody puts a message, you'll still get those messages.
Super, I'll do that. Right? Okay, a couple of setups I'm going to do in breakout rooms. So setup is you will be pushed in the breakout room. There is no option. So it's compulsory to join the room. And there is no waiting. So at the 30th minute, boom, you will come to main room. All well, we good with that. Sandeep also is going to join the room. Sandeep, one request, please do not share your stories. Yeah, so please, you have a time later on to share your story. Otherwise, that group will know, say, yaar, Sandeep ne to sab bata diya. Super.
So we will explore different stories with Sandeep.
Yeah. Right. So, breakout rooms. Here comes the Zoom. Breakout rooms, 12 participants assigned in 3 rooms. Automatically create rooms. I'm just checking the option. Move all participants automatically. Allow participants.
Now there should be that background sound.
Background. Close automatically after 30 minutes.
Going in 3, 2.
Yeah. Okay.
There are new members joining in still.
Yeah, I know.
Who are coming in.
Guys, I'm going to hit on the breakout rooms.
Yes.
And so you will be. Okay, Aparna, do that once again. That duck. On the count. 3, 2, 1. We'll see you in 30 minutes. Bye-bye. Take care.
Yeah.
Vivek, that was a smart way. Okay, we're still talking and suddenly
I know. I mean, we were just
knows how to shut down
complete listening to the last.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
We were getting tips on image consult from image consultant.
थोड़ा तो warning दे दिया करो.
You want tips?
Renu and Sheila, both of us. They were in our room.
So Zoom पे ना, when you're in breakout room, top right पे वो timing आता है. People who
yes, we knew it.
If I give you 60 seconds, I'm sitting alone. I listened to Kalpesh. I joined breakout number 3, and I was pulled back 5 times in the main room to admit people and not admit. And Zoom
He was not liking it.
Yeah,
that you were with us.
Yeah. And Sheila also called me a ghost, so I'm offended.
Somebody needs to be in the main room.
I know. All right, welcome back. Before I invite the speaker, I'm going to invite a couple of people to share how were the conversations and what did you pick up from the room. Please, anybody. Two people?
I think Sheila should go. Sheila, go ahead and say what you just said in the room.
Okay, I will just try to summarize what we felt.
शीला, आपका थोड़ा कनेक्शन आगे पीछे है.
In our
We just lost it. Aparna, why don't you do that?
Now, am I audible?
थोड़ा कट हो रहा है.
Yes, but I think you may have to switch off the video.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think all of us had a lot of similar experiences there. I guess everybody here on the Zoom call have gone through the same similar experience where we had a lot of time to introspect into ourselves. We actually are the blessed people, I would say, that we really did not have to fight at that front, and we were in a place where we could help someone and lift someone from that space who were really going through a lot. And as coaches, all of us, I felt we took some responsibility towards the society and did something for the society. That was something which was coming up strongly amongst us. And talking about resilience, I think everybody was coaching. What Vikram said was so profound. He said, while you are a coach, you also become a coachee and do some kind of coaching to yourself and try to build resilience in yourself to face the situation. So that was really strong thing that came up, and that's what exactly we all have been doing. We are doing a lot of introspection into ourselves, gathering skills. uh, I have organized for a portal where it was a gratitude portal where people would come and join us and share how they felt. And Aparna also did coaching for so many people who would just come back to her and ask her to do more sessions with her because she was really trying to help people. So I think as coaches, I sense that in our group, we were all growing within ourselves. At the same time, we were helping society also in some way so that we can contribute. That's what we felt. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila. I'm going to invite one more volunteer, but to share very crisply how were the conversations, since we wanted to have more connections and knowing each other. One more, please.
So there, you want to go, or Aniruddha, you want to go?
This is called as voluntold. Voluntold.
Yeah, voluntold. You remember, no, Vasu?
Voluntold.
Okay, so we.
कल्पेश आप नाम ले लो यार.
हाँ, there is saying. there ने unmute किया खुद को.
Yeah.
I thought Aniruddha's story makes more sense.
Yeah, थोड़ा volume कम हो रहा है आपका.
Okay, I thought, is it okay?
थोड़ा बड़ा. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Aniruddha's story made more sense. That's why I kept quiet, but that's fine. I think what I shared is both as a working professional, what are the challenges that I'm facing, and other than working professional, how has been my journey last 5 months. So quickly on the working side, yes, lots of very difficult situation at work, I would say, because I think the policies on which really HR bang upon and the guidelines, suddenly everything, there are no answers written in those anymore because the situation has been so unprecedented. So the team comes up to you saying that, how do I onboard someone online? How do I welcome someone online? How do I train someone online? How do I exit someone online? And you suddenly have to think very differently, which haven't thought before, and see to it that there are answers available or there are solutions available which are workable and which still keeps the culture intact. So that's one challenge I faced. The second is I felt that suddenly the world has come together. The walls have collapsed. And I see my yoga teacher from Pimpri Chinchwad. She has someone joining from Australia for her yoga class. So there is a lot that the world has collapsed. The walls have collapsed. Earlier, she would only take clans, or only clans around 1 kilometer, 3 kilometers circumference would come to her. There is a positive and negative of this, which I see in the corporate, is because the world is coming together. I think centralization is getting more powerful, and actually, centralization with democratization, in the sense you do centralize, but at the same time look at what's culturally more viable locally. that kind of maturity is still missing in the corporate, especially with multinationals. And I think that's the balance that again is going to open up a new challenge. On the personal side, I think COVID, yes, stress management, managing kids online school studies. We all are going through certain very managing online coaching, managing online training sessions. We all are going through this, and it's a very different world. But what I have seen working for me as stress busters is really like Prasad last time had mentioned that reflect on your own beliefs, deep beliefs, what you believe in, do what you like within the given space. So I have a small balcony in which I have grown this 50 mango saplings
Wow.
during the summer season, which I'm going to donate to a nursery. So small things make very, very create very happy and stress-free moments. So that's what I shared on a personal journey. Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you there. Thank you. I kind of like joined the room number 3 briefly. So I heard Sheila leading a group of 450 families on doing a daily gratitude meeting. Wow.
Wow.
Very, very unique thing.
Very unique, yeah.
Thanks.
So, Sheila, yeah.
Vivek, I would like to say that I really practice what Churchill once said, don't let any crisis go waste. So for coaches, it's very important that the crisis time there's something that we need to make out of the waste also, right? So the wrong times also teach us a lot. So don't let any crisis go waste.
Super. Thank you so much. So we're going to pause here and we're going to move to another segment. A very nice one. Yeah, sorry, Kalpesh, go ahead.
Sorry,
I want to say something before I go. Yeah.
Yes.
One thought I have, while I know today is a very small and intimate community, that if you have enjoyed these conversations, these people are available on WhatsApp group. Feel free to make small groups and talk to them. While all these distinguished coaches are available once in a month, feel free to connect with their permission throughout the month. So I think we all enjoyed those conversations. Yeah, Kalpesh, over to you.
Right. So, Vivek, I think Mani is just joined in now.
Yeah.
And Ravi was there, but I think Mani is here. And what I remember, Mani, and I want to take a special mention to that is, I think Mani, in our discussion or chat, you mentioned that Mani is the person who started the ICF Pune chapter coaches WhatsApp group 3 to 4 years back.
Okay.
And when I kept seeing that who are the admins and I kept seeing his name, is there reached out that Mani, where are you? I mean, I don't know you, but I see you as the admin of this group. And it was good to have Mani. So thank you so much. I think you have a role to play in all of us being together here today. And thank you for setting that kind of foundation 4 years back. Mani, you're on mute.
Thank you, Kalpesh. I think the credit goes to the team. I think Prasad, Jayashri, Mangesh, and so many other people who kind of relentlessly worked hard to set up the chapter and then take it forward. So yeah, it was this strange feeling I had in 2016 when I was actually trying to become an ICF member. The question was, which chapter you want to be associated with? The question was either Bombay or Bangalore. Probably I've spent good part of my life in Pune. Now last 3 years I'm in Hyderabad. I spent good part of my life in Pune. And when I spoke to coaches, a lot of them are still inclined to be a part of Bangalore or Bombay chapter. I asked, we have 13 universities in Pune. Can't we have a coaching chapter? I know there were more than 65 coaches who were registered, who were practicing coaches in Pune. So it was kind of, that question slightly rattled people, but then they did see value in coming together. And I think thanks to that, I think it's now been one of the best running chapters. And I hear about ICF Pune in multiple forums. I'm indeed connected with a lot of coaches, though I'm not a practicing coach. I'm a technologist by profession and a coach by passion. And then I was also trying my bit to revive the ICF chapter in Hyderabad. But looks like it's going to take some more time. And then I thought I need to go back to somewhere. The choice was either Chennai or Pune. And then Chennai is home, Pune is heart. So came back to home.
Wow, look at that. Very nice. Thank you. Welcome, Mani. Welcome.
I still remember the first dinner that you organized, Mani.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Welcome, Murli.
Thank you.
I know you guys don't meet in Deccan, is it? Because we used to meet in MICUP, Maratha Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah, MCCI, yes, correct. But then Deccan Gymkhana.
Yeah, okay.
This year we plan to continue in Deccan Gymkhana or even PYC.
Okay.
But now we've gone virtual, so we just meet on Zoom.
Yeah, you want to say something? You raised your hand.
No, I was trying to find the chat where I can say welcome Mani. Welcome
Okay.
back.
Now you're
I'm so sorry.
That's
Thank
it. Super. Okay, looking at time, I'm going to move to Sandeep. So allow me to share my screen. It goes. Okay. So just give me thumbs up if you see my screen. Thank you. So the theme for this part is real people, real stories, right? And the theme we have invited our guest to talk on, or he has suggested, is cop to corporate and fact to fit. A quite inquisitive title. And who's this man behind this title? Here it is. Sandeep Kulkarni. Welcome, Sandeep. Hearty welcome. And thank you for accepting this invitation on your birthday. I'm sure your family would have asked you, why are you giving 2 hours of your life to these guys, right? So currently he's at ICETIS, Chief Information Security Officer and Vice President of IT, Cloud Ops, Security and Compliance. And again, Jayashree, thank you so much for connecting me with Sandeep. I'm looking forward to knowing a lot about him. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Now, friends, we're going to do Q&A. So it's going to like interview type. While predominantly I'm going to ask questions, feel free to jump in and ask a question to Sandeep as well. We plan to kind of like chat about next 45 minutes till 6:45 and including Q&A. I want to close at 7. I know it's a holiday for all of us, right? Sandeep, if you want to share any screen, any slides anytime, feel free to do that. But I'm going to start with first question. Since now that you're a vice president in corporate, but I heard you were a cop. So where did that cop thing came in your life? So could you please tell us what is this cop thing all about?
Sure. First of all, thanks a lot for having me here. I think I really enjoyed all the conversations that happened here. And as far as taking time away from family is concerned, I think they are more happy that I'm busy now with something else than spending time with them. So thanks a lot. I've got few pictures I want to share as well as I start my story. And what I heard from every one of you is an amazing story, honestly. So I don't think that my story is really something different. I think we all go through challenges in life. While I talk about my challenges in life, I'm sure some of you resonate to it as well. So let's talk about how I became a cop. Right? And for that to start, I got to go back to my school days. I'm sorry, it's going to be a little back in the history, but that's how the whole thing panned out. So if you look at my school time, right, I was never a brilliant student in the school. Right? I was absolutely below average. Right? And when I say below average means, I still remember in my class I would have about 45, 47 students in the class, and my rank in the class was never below 40. I used to always be like 42, 43, kind of a person. It was all Marathi medium. I reached to 10th standard, and my parents realized that I'm going to need a lot of coaching to actually get good scores in 10th. That time 10th was very important. So remember, my father took almost 3 or 4 months vacation just to focus on my studies. Somehow he made me study. I got about 70-80% marks in 10th. I got admitted to 11th. 11th, the whole world changed. Right? 11th was all in English. And suddenly a Marathi medium student going into English medium becomes a big challenge. When only English word I could speak was yes and no. That's all. So obviously it took its toll. I still remember when I passed my 11th and went to 12th, my average percentage was 37.5%. So and plenty of that was the aggregate marks that I got from college. I reached to 12th, did a little bit studies, got about 55% marks. Obviously, engineering was out of question, although my parents still dreamt that I'll be an engineer. I couldn't do my engineering. I went to a BSc. So the whole education graph started going down and down, right, till I reached first year BSc, and then I hit a rock bottom. What happened in first year BSc was I flunked. I absolutely failed. And I still remember my father's face, who came to me and said, in the entire Kulkarni family, there has not even a single person who has ever failed in the college. You are the first one to do that. And He was absolutely worried about my life, what's going to happen to me, how am I going to do. He was a government employee, right? He worked for about 39 years in Post and Telegraph. So for him, his son becoming a graduate is like a nirvana, right? Once he gets a graduate, he can stick me somewhere in the government department and get it over with. So that's how he started thinking. Now that he realized I'm not even past first year BSc, which means more than likely my graduation is the big question. And that was the time when he saw this ad that came up that talked about police wireless. Right? And when he saw it, all he did was right away apply for it. He said, you don't have a choice. You're not doing education anymore. Forget your education. At least get a government job. You'll be fine. So I went for an entrance test, passed the entrance test. I actually incidentally got interviewed here in Pashan. I don't know how many of you know the Pashan Police Headquarters. That's when I got interviewed. I got selected. And then there was a 14 months of vigorous training. And these pictures are taken in the Pashan headquarters on the terrace of our hostel, where for 14 months the entire day sort of was the full day you spend learning electronics. They teach a lot about wireless transmissions, receivers and things like that. And then mornings are all parades. They would teach you how to use weapons. Evenings will be all you do sort of workings or some games, some sports. A very very disciplined sort of life I had for 14 months to do that. And that was my entry into the corporate. Right? So then after the 14 months training was done, I was placed in Pune Commissioner Office. I was there for about 6 months. And obviously my parents were in Mumbai. I was here and I was the only son. So parents would get really worried all the time. So I applied for a transfer. I finally got a transfer. And then I moved into the Mumbai Police. And in this whole cop business, I think I got to experience lots of things. I got to experience what does going into Dharavi mean during the entire rights period, the 1993 rights period. I still remember my mom was all after me saying, leave the job, right? She says like, government job, I don't care, we still care about you, don't go for a job and leave it. So I still remember doing, the duties in that. I still remember doing the Ganpati Bandobast, the Pune Ganpati Bandobast. I don't know how many of you see, but it is amazing being awake for 36 hours, standing on those podiums and watching the Ganpatis come and go. So some of the really, really, nice and beautiful experiences I've had as a cop. So I really enjoyed that. And I worked as a cop for almost 6 years before I resigned from that position.
Wow. And you talk about that Pune Ganesh festival. I know how many of us really die to get that good view in the Ganesh festival. So that's amazing, right? So Sandeep, if everything was going well on that cop thing, and then there's another word called corporate. So what made you shift from this cop to corporate then?
Yeah, so corporate was, I would call it, it was more like a transformation, right? And I always talk about change and transformation, right? Change is something where you know what you want and you're working towards it. A transformation is something that you're not even imagined, right? It just suddenly happens based on what you've done to yourself. And the reason I call it transformation because, so let me correct a story that I talked about, right? So I got transferred to Mumbai. I came to Mumbai, I started working, I got posted in Nagpada, believe it or not. So I got all interesting experience. So I started working in Nagpada, and then I happened to go to college to meet my older friends with whom I used to do all kinds of, danga masti, right? Not never into studies, but more into everything else other than studies. Now, when I went to the college, I saw these guys with whom I really had good time. Those guys are either doing MSc, PhD, they all are like getting educated themselves. They're really high on a good way, right? And then I started thinking to myself, saying, hey, Sandeep, you're going to be 12 pass. That is what's going to be your labels all along the line. You're never going to be engineer, you're not going to be graduate. And I started sort of feeling a little down about it, right? Saying, hey, I made a mistake. That was the first time I realized that life is not going as good as I really wanted it to go. Okay. I still remember I came back to office and my boss was there. He sort of asked me, hey, what happened? So I told him, look, here's the issue, that all my friends with whom I had good time are all doing, either they are doing well in education or they're probably going to get settled better than what I'm doing. And I think I'm going to get tagged as 12 pass all throughout my life. And he's like, no, you're not. It's all in your hand. It's all about what do you want to do. He says, and that time, the way Mumbai Police, by the way, still works like this, their duties are a little different, right? Typical government duties are you work for 8 hours and then 16 hours are off, right, for you. The way Mumbai Police works is they make you work for 12 hours and then 24 hours off. So my duties were, I used to have the duty like Sunday morning 8 to Sunday night 8, then Monday night 8 to Tuesday morning 8, then Wednesday your weekly off, Thursday morning 8 to Thursday night 8, and Friday night 8 to Saturday morning 8. That's how the duties were. So if you look at, Thursday was the only problem during daytime when I was not available. And my boss said, if you really want to do your college, go take the admission. Thursday is the only problem. Go decide your Thursday for 5-6 hours. Go to your college and come back, and I'll adjust you in that.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. I was very happy. So the first thing I did was I went to Mumbai College and I took admission there for my BSc. Right? And that was sort of a turning point for me because my electronics was really strong. Right? After taking a 14-month training about how wireless transmitters work, they really teach you a lot about electronics. So electronics was really strong. Second, I had money in hand. Now imagine that time, I was talking about 1990s. I was the only guy who would get a pocket money about 8 to 10,000 rupees a month, which was great. Right? My parents never asked me that money at all. So it was all at my availability. So that really worked out well. And then I really started studying hard. And if you look at my routine that time, was really hectic. I used to go away the Sunday entire day office, Sunday morning into Sunday night. Right? Monday when I used to go to college, Monday I used to go to college with a pair of clothes in my hands. Monday I'll go to college and finish my college in the afternoon. I'll sit in the library. I'll sit in the library till evening. Evening go to work. Then Tuesday morning take a shower in the office, change your clothes. Tuesday again go back to college, and Tuesday evening get back at home. And then obviously Wednesday is again weekly off, so you can do that. Thursday 4 hours to disappear, you come to college, finish your college, and then go back to work. And then Friday do the same story. Friday carry a pair of clothes, go to the college, finish your college, evening library, night work, Saturday morning college again, and then Saturday night go back. So I did that for about 3 years, and there the education dropped really well. I actually remember when I passed my third year BSc Physics, I was the topper in my college.
Oh wow! Okay.
And then I really wanted to be a professor. I love teaching, right? And I really love teaching still. And then incidentally, my physics professor, she came to me and she said, Sandeep, what do you want to do? I want to be a professor. This has gone mad. There is no life in being a professor. The life is interesting, but there is nothing you can do about it. So I said, then what can I do? Then she was the one who suggested, saying, why don't you do engineering? There are engineering courses available which are qualified for you after you do BSc. So then I took admission for my BSc Tech engineering. I did my engineering. Now, incidentally, while all this was going on, my boss was very supportive. But when I reached my third year of engineering, is when the things changed a little bit in the work, right? Where my boss got changed, different boss came in. And typical government mentality, right? They realized that this guy is now in the last year of engineering. There are no engineers in police wireless. So they knew I was going to leave anyway. So he came to me and said, Sandeep, you have two choices. Either you're going to shift to a general duty, which means you're going to work from 9 to 5, no shifts, or you're going to have to leave the job. So I said, okay, I'll leave the job. He's like, are you sure about it? I said, yes, I'm 100% sure about it because I'm at the last year of my engineering. There is no way that I'm going to continue with you guys. If you want me to leave the job, I'll leave. And I still remember I came back home. My dad was really upset because dad was a government servant, right? For him, I had reached the nirvana. I don't need to do anything else. I'm done for my life. And I told him that no, Dad, I'm going to leave. So Dad said, here's the deal. He said, I will support you for 1 year. Okay, you do what you want to do. You not earn the money. I'm okay with this. But that's the only year you get. In that year, you establish yourself. I'm more than happy. If you don't, then you're on your own. And that worked out really well because then next day when I went to my boss and I said, I'm resigning, he was astonished as well. He says, no one leaves the government job. I'm the first one I'm going to leave. Anyway, I resigned. And luckily, after I resigned, within a week or two, Microland was the first company that came for a campus interview. And they selected me. So, the good thing was, while I took that a very blunt decision against my parents, against a lot of other people, but I knew I had a job at the end of my engineering. So, it was a matter of a few months for me to complete the engineering and I was going to start. And that Microland was my sort of start into the corporate world. That's how it started.
Oh, wow, amazing. I think you doing job and study together, that's quite amazing. You carrying them. I could visualize, you carry your clothes and go to the job and change, and wow, hats off. I'm sure it's a lot of stretch. Wow.
When you do something that you love, right? You would do it no matter what. You'll go out of your way in making it happen. But when you're doing something against your will, then no matter how interesting it is, you will never enjoy it.
Quite right. Yeah. Thank you for that. So, in my role as a facilitator, I got a chance to interact with few IAS officers and few government officials. And, once the gentleman we talked to, he was posted in Bihar. And I won't name the chief minister, but we did ask them, and I think he's one of the top 5 IAS officers in the country. And we asked him, how does it feel like working for a government? And you are a talented guy. So the next question to you is same, cops job, and I as a common man, I have a different image of the way cops are. You stop and you ask for money and whatnot, but it's a different boss and discipline type. And corporates are slightly different, right? The discipline, the perks and the office and the AC and all. Now, for you, while you struggled a lot and studied, and now you are a totally different experience, right? And so, how was this different second life for you? The rules and regulations and the learning and the boss and the culture and the environment. Tell us more about it.
Interesting. It's a very interesting question because it's totally different, right? Working for a government versus working for a corporate. And I think the first difference was very clear with my first experience. I'll talk about it. But before I talk about it, the reason I say it's very easy to work in government is because you can come up with thousands of reasons for which something cannot be done. And you don't have to do it. You just can basically avoid all the work and just keep giving excuses and still survive. Whereas corporate, for a fact that you can come up with a problem, but you have to also come up with a solution and fix it as well. So
True.
I'll tell you my first corporate experience. I joined Microland, and it was my first week after I finished my induction and everything. I was sent to their seats office. And manager there said, hey, that time MBD was big, Mahindra British Telecom. They were in seats. He was like, MBD has purchased 275 compact desktops. Okay, so go ahead and install it. I said, okay, I'm going to go there. I went there. They took me to the storeroom. They had big boxes of all these computers and monitors to be installed. I took the first one out, and I realized the PowerPoints. The PowerPoints are all US slides. And you're talking about 1995, 96. At that time, you don't have a dual type sockets in India. Right?
Yeah.
So obviously that's not going to work. Right? So being a cop, government thing, right? I called my manager saying, hey boss, these are different ones. I cannot install this. I'm going to come back. He's like, no, wait. He sent me 525 Indian type plugs. So my job for next 3 days was to cut the power cord, connect the Indian plug, and turn the machines on.
Wow.
And I think that was my first lesson, that in corporate, you will always have a problem, but you cannot push the work. You got to go, chipping along, small pieces by pieces, but you got to work, you got to find solutions. And I think, to me, that's a lifetime learning for me, that, whenever you have problems, you have to have solutions as well for it. There is no choice. You cannot just say that there's a problem and get away from it.
Yeah, and so that's like the first thing we talked about, like the cop to corporate. I think a couple of things I'm picking up is working. You had a dream, you had a goal, you working together, you studied a lot, and I think you kept on going. And I think there was a bit of risk element there as well. That last 1 year you talked about, right?
Yes.
And when I look at the theme, Sandeep, you also mentioned that fat to fit. So how are these two themes connected? I just want to know more about it.
Sure. So you rightly said, the career was growing, right? I moved from being a corporate. As the career was growing, this is what was happening, right? Which is, hold on, if I can change the slide. Here. This is what was happening, right? Which is
this you?
Not only, that's me, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not only the career was growing, but I was growing along with it as well. Right? And some of the things for it is obviously, you get into the comfort zone, right? In the corporate life, while there is a lot of stress, all the stress is sitting on a table and chair, right? There is no really physical stress that you go through. It's a lot of mental stress. So you end up eating more. You end up, not working out. You end up having, late night works and things like that. And as a result of that, I sort of started putting on weight, and I reached, I think, maximum to about 110 kgs. And this is the time, and I call this phase as sort of a corporate junkie, right? Where so focused around career that, I used to keep my phone under the pillow, and every 5 minutes I would go look at the pillow, under the pillow, and, even this is like till I sleep, to see who has sent an email, how can I respond back to it. And the constant thing against my mind was, how am I going to grow? How am I going to climb the corporate ladder? How am I going to go reach, the higher up? And it was a pretty frustrating experience because, many people say that, but it's a fact that if you are obsessed with something, whereas it is good, but many times you don't get it, and sometimes you have to not look at it, not be obsessed for it to really come to it. And so that's started happening where I realized that I'm sort of, going towards a zone from where people don't come back. How many of you seen 50, 60 plus age people with a weight 110, 150? There aren't that many, right? When you get obesity, obviously, you're not really looking, long life. So then I made a couple of changes, right? So the first thing I did was I bought a hefty, life insurance, which by the way, I still repent now because I shouldn't have done that. I was not very confident about myself that am I going to turn myself around or not. So I bought like a hefty life insurance for the family. And then I said, this is not going to work, long for me. I got to change this. And that's how I changed. But now even that change process was not easy, right? And what really worked for me was, I'm sure some of you have tried this, that, we go with a determination saying, I want to really lose weight. I'm going to go start doing something. And you start going to the gym, you start working out. You do it 1 day, you do it 2 days, you do it 3 days, then 4th day, you don't feel like it. Then you do 2-3 days, then 6th day, you don't feel like it. And then slowly, you stop doing it. Right? So that inertia, it always kills you. So what worked for me was when I started going to the gym, there is one thing that I follow. Whether I go to the gym and I follow the process, the whole diet and regime, sleeping and all that stuff, or not, but I would weigh myself at an exact fixed time every day, no matter what. Okay. And I realized that within like 2-3 weeks, I realized that every day I followed the regime of a good diet, right rest, good workout. I was losing about 100 to 150 grams a day. Wow. But the day I won't follow this, that day I would go up by 450 to 500 grams. Okay. Which means that every day that I did not follow, it was taking me back 3 days. Then I had to work 3 more days to come back to the same level that I was 3 days back. Okay. That sort of got me going, saying, no, you cannot miss a day, because if you miss a day, you have a problem. Yeah. So for 6 months, I followed it, and I still have that weight loss graph. I maintained, different types of graph. It shows how my weight went down with all the decreases and things like that. That really worked out well. So for that 6 months, I came down from about 110 kgs to somewhere around 77, 78 kgs. Then I got into bicycling, and I really enjoyed cycling a lot. In 2010, 11, we went to Leh Ladakh, where we did about 500 kilometers cycling as a group together. And then someone told me that, hey, cycling is a very strenuous workout. It really requires a very strong heart. For it to run little, then you can probably do well cycling. Then I started running, and the minute I started running, this is what happened. That I started loving running so much that I stopped cycling completely. And then, by the way, the weight that was at about 77, 78 further came down. And I came down to about 70 kgs after I started. And since then, it has been really well. That was on a personal front. Okay. But on a work front, I tell you this, that I do a couple of parallels, right? So first thing I did was I changed my priorities. I said, career is no longer top. Career is important for me, but what's most important is the health. The second priority is my family. And the third is career. Now, what does it mean? It means that my first agreement with my boss is, if you have the urgent requirement, call me. If you call me, I'll answer your phone. Okay. But if you email me, then expect it that I will respond back within 24 hours, obviously. But then I have my routine, right? Like morning times, I'll not respond back, because morning I'm going to the gym. I make sure that I take at least 1 or 2 vacations per year with the family that I can go out with. Okay. And then do the career also. Now, when I followed this and when I preached this, my career also started going up really, really quick. So if you look at, in 2010 to 2020, I got more number of promotions as compared to I would have got in the previous, my past 15, 20 years of IT. So that really worked out well. And that's what I was saying, that when you really stop thinking about something, sometimes you really get it. When you focus on something else around the work. And then that's what I preach to the employees as well. Right? So one of my favorite questions I ask to a new hire is, what do you do when you're not working? And if the person says, oh, I spend family time, or I like to play with my kids, I certainly start, looking at it not so good, right? Because it's good to spend time with the family, but it's more important for you to say something that I do this for myself, whether it is reading, whether it is playing some sport, or picture, drawing, whatever it is, but something for yourself. And it's very important because that really, sort of energizes you to come back again to the work next day and start working the right way.
Awesome. Yeah. Sandeep, while you touched, but I'm going to bring back to that point, 2 points, important points, and you have also said, but I want you to repeat. One is when people start this journey on this path, the health path. One is really how does one keep motivating self. There are so many seemingly considered to be family, priority, work, Brahma, festivals and whatnot. And number two is how do you keep going, that resilience bit of it. Once you achieve that thing, but let's take one by one. One is how do you keep yourself motivated? What did you do?
So how do you keep yourself motivated? I think one of the things is, and this is what I often tell people who say that, hey, I want to do this same journey of physical transformation, and the one question I ask them is, how badly do you want it? Because if you want it badly, then only you can do it. If you don't want it badly, then you cannot do it. I would not even advise you to venture in it because then there's no point, right? If you enter into something half-heartedly, then you're not going to get the benefit out of it because you're not going to really do it, right? So it's not an easy thing, number one. And second thing is, I think the motivation really comes when why you want to do it. For example, as I said, I did this for my family. I realized that 110 kg at this age, I'm not going to live long enough, and I really wanted to make sure that I'm there for my family because career can grow, right? I can make more money, but if it's a short duration, then it's not benefiting my family at all. So I think these two things really motivate you: how badly you want it and what's in it for you.
Okay. Thank you. And another question came to my mind just now is, during this journey, Sandeep, did you ever think, yaar, kyun kar rahe hain? Why is happening? It's okay. Ek week chhod do. I've achieved now. Ek do saal nahi karte hain. Aisa kuch aaya dimag mein?
So you're right. I will say that nahi aaya, right? Many times I felt it like that. But I think what really helped, and in the bottom pictures you will see, is the gang, right? What happens is when you get on this journey, then a lot of other followers will join you, and then you sort of become, undeclared role model for them.
Okay.
Now, when you're a role model for them, you really cannot, diverge from your path. Now, and there are so many times when, for example, we do group runs, right? And in the group runs, I set it up saying, hey, okay, this morning I did my group run, right? We started running at 5:30 in the morning when it was raining heavily.
Okay.
But if the run is organized by me, then I have no chance of not showing up, right? Because then it's going to look really bad on my part that I organized it and I didn't show. So when you start taking these leadership roles, right, then you start walking the talk, and then there is a lot of pressure for you to do it as well. So you really cannot diverge. And then when you realize this, you actually start doing more and more, which means now I make sure that my group is expanded, right? There are more and more people coming in so that we have a lot of fun together. We are all health enthusiasts. But second is also, it keeps me motivated, keeps me challenged also. Say, hey, I can do it, right? These people are following me. And the good part is, some of these people joined me after my journey started, and they have made much more progress than even where I am today. For example, in the runners world, they call it, sub 2 marathon, right? And some of these guys are running much better than even what I can do. So then the second part is, you're not competing against each other, right? You're competing against yourself. That how I was a year back versus how am I right now. Not that this X person can do it like this, why can't I do it?
Okay.
It's a good goal to have, but you're not competing with that person.
Awesome. Thank you. Hey, out of curiosity, in these two pictures, I see this acronym called RIOT, Riot. Any unique thing about it?
That's our group's name, right? We call it Running is Our Therapy. That's how the Riot name came out.
Running is our therapy. Oh, awesome. Okay. Hey, before I hand it over or make forum open for all Q&A, final question from my side. The marathon, a lot of people draw a lot of parallels with long-term running with life. What is your parallel with marathon and life?
Sure, I think that's a very, very interesting question, and I can spend a lot of time about it. Plenty of things, right? First of all, I guess the main difference between a sprint and a marathon is sprint is for a shorter duration compared to a marathon, which is for a much longer duration. And the reason I say that is because in the marathon, the rule of thumb is never run at a pace which will not, you can't sustain for too long, right? You always run at a pace that you can sustain for a longer time, because you're running 20, 30, 40 kilometers, right? Whereas in a sprint, it's a 100-meter sprint. So you give all out, you know for a fact in 10, 15, 20 seconds, it's going to get over and you're out of it. To me, life is a marathon, right? Life is not a sprint. What I mean by that is, make sure whatever you're doing, you're not burning yourself out, right? You're always keeping some energy with you that will sustain for a longer duration. I think to me, that's a very, very first and primary, parallel. Second is the running, terrain, right? So if you look at, we do hill marathons or we do flat marathons too. The hill marathon, when you're doing it, the mantra at least that has worked for me is never look up how much high you have to go. Keep your head down and keep your cadence on, right? Just keep running, keep running, keep running, and trust that you're going to reach the uphill and then the downhill comes where the gravity will take over, right? In life, we are also faced with many situations like this, where life gets tougher. The COVID has come in, the business are impacted, you're not very sure about the money is going to come in or not. That's the time when you got to say that I'm not going to get myself affected. I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm just going to keep my cadence on. I'm going to do whatever I can, because this is going to get over, right? Very soon, a downhill will come and you will run again downhill with just as easy as you did it before. That was second. Third is a very common, line that is used in the war, but I love to use it here also. That talks about always make sure you sweat a lot in practice to bleed less in the war, right? So make sure you're practicing all the time, and the life is the same way, right? Before you go for any of your big deliveries, make sure you practice a lot, and so that when you actually deliver it, you're ready and you've done that. Consistency is the key, no matter what, right? So if I give up running for a week or 2 weeks, it takes time for me to come back to my same form that I had before. Same way for the life as well. If you're consistent in doing something, whether it is going to the work, doing certain things, following with certain things, you got to be consistent all around. Understand your challenge. I just talked about there are hill marathons, there are flat marathons. These are different challenges. You got to practice in a different way to handle those challenges. The same way in life, right? Understand the challenge you're getting. Just because you did well the last challenge does not mean you'll do well in this challenge. Like, this challenge is different. It means your practice, the way you're doing it is a little different as well. And last, but this is to me the most important, that people often say failure is not an option. I say failure is an option, right? Failure is never end of the world. In fact, failure really gives you an experience, right? When you really fail, of experience of how not to fail next time, which is very, very important. It's not about how many times you failed. It's about how many times you attempted once again after failing. That's really important. And running is always the case, right? There are cases where, I have given up the running events, right? Where I could not run entire 21 kilometers. I felt bad, I felt miserable, but I came back again. I practiced well and I went back again and I did those marathons together. So that to me is very, very important. And these parallels really helped me a lot in general life.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I also see your executive coach has joined. Mangesh, welcome. Yeah. Sandeep, I'm going to request you to stop sharing your video so we all can see everybody. Stop that, please. Super. People, the forum is open. Sandeep, very inspiring and passionate story. Please unmute yourself if you want to ask any question to Sandeep. The theme again is corp to corporate and fat to fit. And again, as a theme, I say is aiming for success and build resilience. I think those were the two inspiring messages we thought will be very useful for all of us as coaches in this current time and the times to come. Awesome, Sandeep. Yeah, very inspiring story. Yeah. Anybody raise your hand, unmute yourself, come on camera, and please ask questions.
Vivek, I think I would just want to begin with complimenting Sandeep. I think Sandeep, what you mentioned is amazing, and I should share that I started my journey last year, reaching at my peak of 108 kgs of weight, and something triggered, and where I picked up the race. I'm at 92 right now, but I think I need to still go down, and there's a long way to go. And I've started participating in marathons, even though I can just walk right now. I can't run, but I've started, and your story is very inspiring, and I think it kicks the discipline side for me now to get on and get going. So thank you for
Very
sharing
nice.
your story.
Very nice, Kalpesh. I'm really happy. You're on the right track. I'm sure you'll do really well.
Thank you so much, Sandeep.
Thank you. Anybody else? Hello, Mangesh?
I think Mangya is trying to speak. Mangya, we are not able to hear you.
Mangesh, you're not able to hear you. By the way, Mangesh is my colleague from Police Wireless. He's joined this meeting. Hey,
But
Mangesh.
he's not Mangesh. But he's not Mangesh.
Oh, okay.
He's my police friend.
Oh, okay. I thought he's Mangesh coach.
No.
Okay.
My name is Mangya.
Okay.
Yes, Mangya.
Nice to have you here.
So you have two Mangeshes in your life, huh? Welcome.
I will only say all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mangya.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to give last invitation for questions, and then I'm going to hand over to Kalpesh for a few next announcements if there are any. Poonam, you want to say something?
No question actually, but I was listening to his story and how, I think it's about when you make a decision for yourself, you have the power to make things happen for yourself. So it was really amazing to listen to you. And I have actually just started my, weight loss journey, not weight loss, I would say fitness journey. I have just started. So I was just thinking about everything that you just said. And I was asking myself, do I really want it? Of course, I really want it. But then, what is not getting me to go after it? So that's what I'm dealing with right now. In fact, I have, taken up peer coaching for the same. कि मेरे को अभी इस पे काम करना है, इसको transform करना है. But वो journey अभी तक फिलहाल sluggish zone पे है मेरी.
I mean, people
I was
who
just
want
listening,
to,
and I was like, hopefully one day I will also get to share a story like that.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I can say, Poonam, is, and I heard your story about when you were in the breakout session. When you decide something, right? Life always throws tantrum at you, right? This COVID came in, right? We just heard that the COVID, people got locked out, right? You just couldn't go out. And I had to run badly, right? I just couldn't live without running. So I ended up running in my terrace. There was like a 30-40 meter loop, which I had to keep doing over and over again to at least come up with my 5, 6, 7 kilometers run that I was doing, twice or thrice times a week. So life will throw tantrums at you. Think about how can you still go around it and continue with your stuff, right? And people often say that, hey, I changed my job, and the job is so stressful that I can't really run in the morning. And I keep telling them, it's okay, join the gym. There are treadmills there, right? You can figure out when can you go to treadmill, and you can still continue. It's about how do you keep your goals, and how do you work around the challenges that are thrown at you. I think it's
So
very, very important.
I think your attitude was more about, okay, the moment you decided you wanted something, now the next question is, okay, how can I make this happen? And then you just kept at it till you cracked the code for yourself, So for me, it's like, can I actually do it? Can I make this happen? So it's a question mark rather than like a declaration to myself. So that's the difference. I see.
I was inviting people, if people want to make a public commitment today, we'll invite Sandeep again in 6
Yeah,
months.
actually, Poonam, you can book a slot with, ICF Pune chapter and, work towards it.
Book a slot and work towards it. I didn't get you. Matlab kya?
Book a slot. Like we invited Sandeep to share his story. We will invite you to share your story. So book a slot and work towards that slot.
I would love that. I would surely love that.
I have just one comment.
Yes, you are.
Sandeep, you said that about emails, that you said, yeah, if it is urgent, call me. If you send me email, I will check it during my schedule. Yeah, but it all depends sometimes on context, how workaholic your bosses are. Because when I was in America, nobody used to even bother me on Saturdays, Sundays. Forget Fridays. I used to work 4 days, 40 hours, and then that was done. Nobody will bother me for 3 days. The moment I came to offshore, the phone started ringing at 2 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock in the night, just out of habit that there is some engineered emergency. And it took me a lot of time, but I think it needs a lot of guts to say that, okay, if it is urgent, call, otherwise expect reply 24 hours or maybe during the schedule.
Absolutely.
But do you think like maybe the context matters? How your boss takes it. If your boss takes it as you are too rigid, you're not fit for the job, then you're done.
Correct. Yeah, but Shiva, it also comes from the fact that if you make your career as the third important thing in life, right? Your top is health, no matter what.
Yes.
Which means if I get a boss who is not willing to agree to the terms, then you got to change the boss. There's no choice, right? Because you cannot just keep serving the same boss that's not meeting your priorities that you want. And thankfully, I've always had the bosses who have supported me when I told them.
No, luckily, in fact, even in Zensar, I had, barring 1 year, rest of the years I had a good boss. And I think, he is connected somehow with you guys.
Gotcha. What's his? Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Super. Okay.
Quickly, can I ask one last thing?
Please, Ranu, all yours.
Yeah, Sandeep ji, truly inspiring and amazing narration. What I'm curious about is, how did you manage your sleep time during your work and study phase of life?
There was really no sleep. Now, thankfully, I was much younger that time, so I could manage still. See, the police job was like this. I think the most of the work came in, really in the wee hours of the night, right? So if you look at from, for example, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock at night will be when really there's a lot of work that happens. But my duties start at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock till 12 o'clock, nothing much will happen. So I used to sort of, and that's what I learned, where you can sleep when you want to sleep. So I used to really force myself to sleep, those 3-4 hours in the office, in the table itself. I used to carry my pajamas as well, so that I can change and sleep in the pajamas and then just wake up if that is required, and then go. So that really worked out well.
Thank you.
It's wow.
Agya Jayashree, go ahead.
Okay, so I think all of you, I think Sandeep is also a very empowering boss. I think for all the more than 5-7 years, I think that we've known Sandeep, the way we've experienced him is he has always built great team and empowered them. And Sandeep has been a recipient of coaching himself, and Sandeep has also always been a sponsor of coaching. So, I think if you could just tell us something about that. How do you get so comfortable empowering your people?
Sure. So I think, so for me, I always tell this to people, right, that if I'm micromanaging you, you are in trouble, right? I will not, honestly, I don't like to micromanage people because if you're doing your job, there's no need for me to be micromanaged. So I think one of the things I've always said is, take your own decisions, right? No one takes a wrong decision ever. People always take right decisions. So never come to me asking for a decision. Come to me saying, hey, this is what I've thought, and this is what I think we should do. Here are options A and options B, and I'll tell you which options is right. To me, honestly, empowering your people gets you yourself ready for the next goal. And I've seen many people who don't like to empower others for the fear that if I empower him, what is my role going to be? And I think the way I feel it is, I want to empower people because I want to do something else. I don't want to get stuck with what I'm doing. I want to live my life. That's what I want to do. So I think that really has helped a lot. And thankfully, I've always got people under me who love to get empowered. Right? And one of the often notes that I get from my people is they love that I don't come into their business. They love that I support them and I really applaud them for their achievements, but I take the blame for their failures. And that has really worked out well.
All right, I'm looking at time. I'm going to invite Kalpesh to see if there are any announcements. Kalpesh, any announcement from your side for AMAC?
Yeah, so I think two things. Before I even go to the AMAC part, Vivek, I want to thank all the coaches who are here today, and I also want to share that as a chapter, with the support of everyone here, we've moved from being 40 members last year to about 57 members this year.
Oh, wow!
And that's a jump of almost 50% in a span of 3 months, and that, so many new faces who've chosen to be with us for this year. And the second is, yes, while we're doing the initiatives, we have the monthly meets and the AMAC sessions also now getting streamlined to first Thursday of every month, and you'll keep hearing the announcements. Would request each one of us here to create that engagement and to share your experiences in the group which ensures that the others are knowing of what we stand for and how we contribute. Because I think if they are going to be members and not take the benefit of the sessions that we are organizing, I think they'll not actually get the whole flavor of what we're trying to bring to table. So I think I would just want to urge everyone to share it amongst your friends and families and people that we have on our group, so that we can we can create more enthusiasm and energy here. About the AMAC session on the first Thursday, you'll get to hear the theme and the details very soon about the same.
Thank you, Kalpesh. Thank you. Jayashree, I want to, while I'm closing, I'm going to do a vote of thanks with Sandeep, but thank you for connecting us. And since you know Sandeep for a while, do you want to say a few words before we say bye-bye?
Well, I can only just say thank you, Sandeep, and I don't know, I mean, choosing 2 hours of your birthday time with us, I think special. Thank you very much. And I always knew that your story is going to be inspirational for all of us. I think Sandeep is just not just a great runner and all those things that you have seen about him. I think he's an amazing person, has been a good friend. So really, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Jayashree. I think thank you for inviting me. I really enjoyed this conversation, and thank you so much once again.
Yeah, Sandeep, if you're okay, I have your contact details, but if people ask, may I share those with people? I'm
Absolutely.
sure they're going to contact you. Yeah. So on behalf of ICF Pune, thank you so much for accepting that. It was very smooth interacting and developing the content. If all goes well, we may have you again or from our side to share our success stories with you, saying you came and said something and now we have done, now you listen to them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All of us again, thank you so much for joining on 15th August. Have a nice weekend. And
Vivek, one moment. Jayashree, would you want to announce for the volunteers?
Yeah, okay. So all of you who are present here, and also you can just spread the word to the other members of the chapter. So we are looking for volunteers now that work is growing and membership is growing. We need people to volunteer for different initiatives as well as for different functions. So like programs for memberships or communications and other projects. So if you wish to volunteer, just drop in a mail to connect. Is that okay? Connect@icfpune.com, Kalpesh?
Yeah, that should be okay. They have our numbers. I mean, if you can just probably message me.
Or you could just message Kalpesh or me, and just drop in a message saying you're interested in volunteering. How many hours would you be, kind of willing to volunteer per month? And if there is a specific area of interest, please let us know.
Hey, I was thinking, Jayashree, if you're okay, I think I would invite them to type on the group so that it will generate curiosity. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. So type in on a group, including after you log off, I invite you and request you, if you have liked today's talk, before you go to your domestic work, please type in one line, thanking Sandeep and Jayashree for connecting with Sandeep, saying how awesome the session was, so that people will join the next session. So there are efforts we take to organize the engagement. I'm sure it's a respect to Sandeep. He has invested a good amount of time. 2 hours is in physical, but we have been preparing for this session for a while. Right? So have a nice weekend again. See you for AMAC, which is first Thursday, and again our next session, which is third Saturday. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandeep. Thank you,
Sandeep, thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. And Vivek, kudos. I think amazing thought process. Just want to compliment you on that, of the breakout room and getting us together. So wonderful. Thank you for doing that.
Thank you. All right. So I'm going to log off so that will push everybody to log off.
You're going to throw us out.
Okay. Bye. Bye, guys.
There was some. By the way, Jayashree, that Mangyal looked very similar to our Mangesha. मी म्हटलं मंगेश
नाही मंग्या नंतर लिहिलं त्यांनी त्याच्या आधी MK